Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie, and on tonight's show, it is the Week 10 NFL preview. Riding solo for now. I think Idris will be joining me shortly, but we're going to get into it. A big slate of NFL games and a lot of playoff hopefuls, teams that are trying to stay around because in both the NFC and the AFC, the bottom is rather congested. So definitely going to be interesting to see how some of this plays out. We are starting off with some of the less notables. Home teams are in caps. Germany's game sees the New York Giants and the Carolina Panthers. I've got my team winning, the New York Giants winning this one 26-17. But I must admit, this is a game that I do not want the Giants to win. This is a game that could come back to bite the Giants when we're talking about draft positioning, because one thing that both of these organizations have in common is that they're going to be looking for a new quarterback in the next draft. And winning a game like this would give Carolina better positioning than the Giants. Giants currently would be picking third if the NFL draft were today. Having said that, regardless of how bad the records are, I always feel that guys are trying to keep jobs, keep moving. So I can't necessarily say that I want to not win, but this is a lost season. What's up, Troy? How you doing, bud? Thanks for joining. But yeah, as the game goes, I see Daniel Jones actually having probably one of his better games here. Carolina just doesn't offer a lot of resistance, and I believe that Tyrone Tracy will be a workhorse in that particular game. Bears, Patriots, neither result would shock me, but I do have the Chicago Bears winning by 3. Drake May gradually getting better. It's going to take some time. I trust Caleb Williams a little bit more, but this is a game that the Bears cannot afford to lose because they've been plummeting, and that NFC North is so competitive. I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking a close L to the Minnesota Vikings in Duval. Idris Salam.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, Idris?
Long time no see, man.
Yeah, I still don't see you. In the words of Wags.
Oh yeah. Oh, my bad. Hold on a second.
I mean, if you don't want to be seen, you don't have to be seen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm here. Let me go. There we go. Hey, what's up, people?
What's up, man? All right. Yeah, glad you're here, bro. Because I must admit, in the morning doing some of these solo shows, it don't hit the same at night. I was like, man, I hope Idris pulls through because I know you were doing casual convo tonight, So
yeah, I was down for. I was waiting to come back on the show for a while anyway. So yeah, let's roll, man.
All right. Well, you didn't miss much. I'm in the less notables. I was talking about the importance of the Giants-Panthers game for draft positioning. Giants are undefeated overseas. They've never lost overseas. And this is the kind of game that I expect them to play well in. Yeah. They've competed on a weekly basis, but, it's no secret that the offense is broken, and the biggest broken piece is the man under center. So that explains the 2-7 record when you consider that this team is leading the NFL in sacks. So definitely disappointed, to say the least, with that 2-7 record. I feel this is a team that should be 5-4, 4-5.
Yeah, I agree, man. I was a little upset. We have to beat the Panthers. I know we want draft and everything, but we got to beat them. They got a quarterback I still see as a rookie, even though it's his second year. I think with Daniel Jones, he's an issue. And I won't put it all on him, but he is culpable for a lot of it. I think also with our coaching, because I look at the first half, compared to the second half of our last game. First half against Washington, we did absolutely nothing. We ran the ball pretty well. Tracy ran pretty good. Singleton ran pretty good, but we threw 6 passes for 0 yards. Well, -2 yards. But in that second half, he 16 of 20, 228 yards. You're like 3 touchdowns. Like, what happened? Like, what were you guys thinking about? When you went out there and moved the ball.
Yeah. The one commonality that this game had with the first game is that we could not stop their running game.
Can't stop the run.
Nope. And were it not for, in my opinion, a ticky-tack call, Wan'Dale Robinson has a touchdown, Daniel Jones has a 3-touchdown game. But the bottom line is, what swayed the momentum, in my opinion, and it took the Giants way too long to even, kind of sniff it back, was that early turnover, second possession of the game. I don't know what bothered me more, the fact that he didn't feel the heat coming or the fact that he damn near threw an interception in the breadbasket of a defensive lineman.
Yeah, I agree. And he's been having, he hasn't been turning the ball over much this season, but the turnovers have been like crucial, man. The pick sixes and then this, they've been bad turnovers that led to points. A real good field position for the opponent. That's the problem. It's just been bad turnovers. Not the turnovers, just very bad turnovers. Like, careless mistakes. Like, dude, did you really throw that ball like that? Like, did you not look? It's like he just drop back, zoom, throw the ball. Drop back. It's frustrating, man. And you as a Giants fan, too. It's frustrating, man.
Yeah, it's honestly hard to feel good about any of this right now. Every season you come in, at minimum, you want to be competent and you want to be competitive. I think we have the competitive part down, but on offense, we run something that is very primitive and just flat out looks like they aren't at NFL level. There's no nice way to put it. But I truly believe that it is the coaching too. And I do not think that head coach Brian Daboll should be absolved.
No,
because
not at all.
When you and Joe Schoen make a collective agreement, it may have been more Schoen, but the bottom line is when you make that agreement to keep the guy that you didn't draft, he now becomes your responsibility. And then you essentially let Dave Gettleman off the hook. And, it's no secret that this is the end of the line for Daniel Jones. I think the reason why I take issue is that every time you march him out there, you run the risk of an injury that could really screw the Giants. I don't think it's a matter of that you have to see what Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock offer, because I think they are very well limited in their own right. But when you have that kind of money on the line, you got to bench him to avoid injury at this point. And when you look at the way that they've been running him, I think you're playing with fire. Troy Evans has a question here. Do you think the Cowboys are done? We're going to be speaking on that game in a moment, but to give you the short story, yes, indeed, I do think they're done. I think Mike McCarthy is dead man walking, and I also think they're going to have a hell of a time keeping Dak Prescott torn off the bone. Christ, I don't even know if it was that bad, but what I do know is with that 3-5 record, they're 3-5 right now. No reason to rush him back.
No.
The best thing that could happen to the Cowboys is to pick in the top 5, given their talent level on that team. They could turn it around quickly with the right coach. But no, this season is cooked for those guys.
Yeah, I got to agree. I'm going to speak on them when we get to them.
Yeah. So these are basically the scores I got. I got the Falcons winning 30-24 over the Saints. I expect the Saints to be competitive just because that's normally what happens in that South matchup. I think although the Dolphins are damn near cooked as well, I expect a very entertaining game. And I would not be the least bit surprised if Odell Beckham Jr., especially with Mike McDaniel recently saying he's going to get more involved, has a big game. That is his former team. That is the team that he won a Super Bowl with, albeit as a rental. But yeah, I don't speak for Idris on these, but these are my finals.
Yeah. I let's see. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Pats over Bears, man.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'm going Vikings, Falcons, Dolphins, Rams. Yeah, I think the only one I got different. I think the Bears lose. Yeah, I want to pick them, but the Patriots, they got a pretty good defense, and Drake May, he's looking better than I thought he would. He's still making little mistakes.
Yeah, he cost them the game last week for sure.
Yeah, he did, and I got a little faith in him. Yeah, I'm going to flip the score on that though. I'm going to go 24-20 Patriots.
Yeah, I definitely think the Patriots' two needs going into the offseason after this year is over.
Mm-hmm.
They have to get a wide receiver one.
They have to.
And they've got to improve that offensive line, particularly on the interior.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Stevenson can do but so much running the ball.
Yeah.
And they just can't keep relying on him. They need a number one receiver for sure. Because Drake May is not going to develop with number twos and number threes throwing the ball to.
Yeah, most of those guys would not even be starting on most NFL rosters. That receiving room is one of the worst in the league.
Yeah, they'll be number threes and fours on any other roster at best.
Yeah. Yeah, Belichick, as good of a coach as he was, he did not do a very good job in the draft room the last probably 3 or 4 years, if we're really being honest. And they pretty much have already sold off most of their high-priced players, guys that were stars. So if they do well within the draft, I think they'll be all right. But I will say this, Gerard Mayo's doing a good job over there.
Yeah. That toughness, man. I see that toughness in them. They don't quit. They don't hang their heads. They know what they have. They know they're young. They know they got a ways to go. And I think those guys, they're like, look, we're just going to have to build this.
Yeah,
I mean,
when you run the NFL for 2 straight decades and an off year's a 10-win season and a first-round exit, most teams wait decades just for that. So, no, it's going to be a bit of a road back, but I do think the Patriots are being handled the right way. I think Gerard Mayo is the right man for the job. Thursday Night Football, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals at 4-5, traveling to the Baltimore Ravens 6-3. Their first game, in terms of entertainment value, may have been the best game of the NFL season. Game that I think the Bengals should have won.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Between the bad snap, bad hold for Evan McPherson.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow started that madness when he made one bad pass. And I mean, you could look at that performance. It might have been one of the best games of his career.
Yeah.
But moving forward, as the game goes, I worry about Cincinnati's ability to stop the run for Baltimore here. I don't think this is necessarily going to be the kind of game where they're going back and forth and it looks like a track meet. It looks like a Madden game. No T. Higgins means that they can really concentrate on making Jamar Chase work a lot harder.
Yeah. I think, and with Baltimore, I think they have to learn to stop the bleeding. Or they just don't. I'm not going to say stop the bleeding. They need to learn how to make a stop. Because if you look at their games over the past 3 years, they will go out to jump the big leagues. Then the fourth quarter, they just quit. I don't want to call them quit. I'm not going to say it because they don't quit. But it's like they get lackadaisical. And whoever they're playing always seems to come back and make it a game.
Well, I mean, look at 2 of their losses this year. They got a loss to the Browns and a loss to the Raiders.
To the freaking – they should have won. They should have won. Yeah, and with T. Higgins being down, I think that takes a load off that Baltimore defensive backfield because they're not that strong. They can concentrate on T. Higgins. I mean, on Chase. I'm about to call him Chase Daniel. Jamar Chase. I'll watch the interview with Chase Daniel. Yeah, they can focus on Jamar Chase, and they just got to get out there. They got to put the nail in Cincinnati. You got them beat. Keep on beating them. don't slack up because Joe Burrow, he'll get hot and he'll figure it out. You know.
Yeah, Burrow's having an excellent year to remember, but I think the problem is the Bengals definitely missed Joe Mixon. I mean, they did pick up Khalil Herbert.
Oh yeah.
They made a deal for him. He's going to be sharing the running back room with Brown because Moss is going to be out for a while. Yeah. But I feel that locker room is just not a happy place because there's a lot going on where Jamar Chase coming into the year was not pleased with not getting paid. Nobody knows who they're going to choose. I mean, they have a pretty good idea. It's probably going to be Chase, but T. Higgins, what's this, his fourth game coming up now? He's already been ruled out for this. And this is the same venue where Joe Burrow and Mark Andrews' seasons were ended last year. Yeah. Ravens are just a better football team. And one thing that I will give them is that they play better against the better teams. If they're going to fall asleep, it will happen to mid to bad teams. And, the Bengals, it's crazy because when they're clicking, they are literally one of the best offenses in the league. Yeah. But defensively, they're not scaring anybody. No. And I honestly think this is the kind of game where Derrick Henry really eats and goes off.
I could see it happening. And the beginning of the season, we was like, oh, where does Derrick Henry fit in? And we see he's fitting in nicely. He looks better this year than he looked last year in Tennessee. And I think that's a Lamar Jackson effect because now you got two dynamic runners you got to watch out for. And he's catching the ball out the backfield more too, which makes him even more dangerous. So I could see them. They just got to beat Cincinnati. Don't play. I don't care if you're up by 7 I don't care. Up by 7, 14, 21. You just got to keep beating them down. That's your divisional rival.
I don't see this going into like that stratosphere of the track meet. I'm taking the Ravens. No. I'm going to go 27-23. 30, you know what? Give me 30-24 in favor of the Ravens. Me. I do think the Bengals.
I'm going 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going 30-23.
But not like last time. I mean, the Ravens secondary is not what it was in previous years. But they're not going to get incinerated after the game film is out from that first matchup. No way.
Yeah. And like I said, with T. Higgins not being in, that takes a load off the DBs. So.
And you also don't have Tyler Boyd anymore, who would step up.
Yeah.
He's no longer on the team. He's in Tennessee. So, yeah.
He's in Tennessee, right.
And in case I didn't mention it quickly, I did have the Chargers winning a snoozer against the Titans. I'm not sure if I put that up there.
You did.
Okay. 2019.
Yeah, you did.
All right. We got the Steelers, the Ravens' main adversary right now. And pretty much since the Ravens have been in Baltimore, going to Washington. 7-2 Commanders. Listen, I'm going to praise Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year. I'm going to give him all the praise. Yeah, I'm going to give him all the praise, but I will say this. These Commanders are not as good as their record, guys.
I don't think so.
They're throwing a fourth-place schedule this year. And the reason why I confidently could say that they are not as good as people think is because my team is bad, and my team could have won both games they played them.
Yeah.
They're still learning how to win. And you should be pleased if you're a Commander fan because you're way ahead of schedule. You're 5 games over 500. If you don't win the division, you're at minimum going to be a wild card. What makes this team better than in previous years? Well, for one, Terry McLaurin has a guy who could consistently get him the ball. You have 2 quality running backs in Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler stepped up in a big way with Robinson being sidelined last week.
And he's healthy.
Yes, indeed. And while I don't see their defense as elite, they have a defense that is scrappy and is going to continue to take on the personality of head coach Dan Quinn. And on the other side, the Pittsburgh Steelers, still a work in progress. That's why they made a decent amount of moves with that receiving room.
Yeah.
They definitely made a decent amount of moves. But my thing with the Steelers is I am not convinced that offense is going to be able to beat these elite teams. This is not an elite team that they're playing this week. I like Pittsburgh on the road here.
I'm with you.
Low scoring affair. Low scoring affair. I'm going 24-20 Pittsburgh on the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 24-21 as well. I think the additions and Pittsburgh went in on the trade deadline. I gotta give them that. I think the additions are gonna help them. We're gonna see what Washington's made of because they're going against a real defense.
Yes.
You got T.J. Watt coming off the corner and he's not playing. I mean, when I mean he's not playing, I mean he's not joking. You know, he's coming to get you. Jay Nail's going to get the ball of Scary Terry often because that Steelers D-line is coming. And they're going to flush him out. T.J. Watt's going to be chasing Jane Daniels all night. He's going to get that ball out of his hands fast.
I think the biggest reason why they win this game is because I don't think Washington's going to be able to have that success on the ground.
No, not against Pittsburgh. No. That's what I mean. They're going to have to throw the ball.
It's going to be third in a lot of unmanageables.
Yeah, T.J. Watt, man.
But Noah Brown is a good scoop in fantasy for the week if you're hurting on the bye week or injuries in your receiving rooms of fantasy. This game here is going to be a tough one to call because of all the injuries.
Yeah.
49ers at 4-4, taking on Tampa at 4-5. Tampa's a pretty good 4-5 team. I'll give them that. But, there's the possibility of Christian McCaffrey returning this week. Niners are looking to get back over 500. And the Buccaneers are looking to stay into the wild card race because I think the South looks like a little bit of a tall order considering that the Falcons already swept them. And now you're talking about Godwin out for the year, Evans out for at least a few more weeks.
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard having a bit of a career renaissance over there.
Ain't he?
It's good to see. I'm happy for him because,
Yeah, me too.
He's usually the guy that would get injured. Injury has given him opportunity this year.
He's playing his former college quarterback too, so he's got to feel good about that.
Yeah, that is an interesting caveat to that. And, one that I don't think a lot of people at the top of their head put together why he was in Tampa. But, there is a chemistry there. As the game goes, I don't see this being very high scoring, but I trust the 49ers a little more than the Bucs right now. It looks like the championship reign in the South for the Bucs is coming to a screeching halt. And not by coaching or not by, desire. I think the Buccaneers have a well-knit organization right now, but the injuries have just piled on them a little too much. Yeah. Their defense is not what it once was. I'll take the 49ers in a low-scoring affair. Give me the 49ers 26. Give me the Bucs 20. I think the Bucs are going to struggle until late in the game and maybe get a late touchdown and keep it just a little closer. Who's stopping Bosa to stay off Baker Mayfield's back this week? And Tampa has not overly impressed me at home this year either.
No. Bosa's coming off the edge. Fred Warner's in the middle, and Frisco, they got to go a little run. I can't remember the guy's name. But they found themselves another,
Juwan Jennings?
Juwan Jennings, yeah. Because he came out of nowhere. And I don't know, man. I think he'll settle in that offense now that he's got a few carries under his belt, a few games. I'm going to go Frisco 27, Tampa Bay 18. I think they're going to pick off Baker a couple of times because he's having a stretch right now where he forgets who he's throwing the ball to. So I think he'll throw a couple.
No, very possible.
Not having your number one and your number two, Godwin and Evans, that hurts. That hurts. And I think that's going to be an undoing of the Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it just takes away so much that they do. And I was actually surprised that Tampa didn't consider trading some pieces because of the fact that this might be a lost campaign. And like I said, not really any fault of their own. Sometimes the injury bug just kind of sweeps the season away. This game coming up is going to be interesting because the Kansas City Chiefs have to be afraid in the level of not looking ahead to Buffalo. They're hosting their division rivals, the Broncos, who are 5-4. Chiefs are comfortably in the lead, the last remaining undefeated team in the league. But one thing that I've noticed watching the Chiefs lately, it seems like they are not winning impressively. And remind me of other teams that started off 9-0, 10-0. The only reason why I would give them a bigger benefit is because they found themselves at the end of the mountain, the top of the mountain the last 2 years. I like the D-Hop pickup. I think it's a wise move when you consider the injuries in that receiving room. They have injuries on the interior offensive and defensive lines. Patrick Mahomes' numbers have not been overly incredible. And the biggest thing this year that's different about the Chiefs, they don't have that big strike ability. They're winning by running the ball, field position, and letting their defense do what they do. And they have a very good defensive front. But they don't strike me as a team that's going to end up winning it this year. And I think it's funny that they have the record that would say, hey, Richie, you're an idiot. But this particular Chiefs team right now, I'm not going to go over the top and bet against them because of what they pulled off last year. But they're not impressing me. As Denver goes, you got to be happy. Bo Nix,
hey,
5-4. Sean Payton, finally showing his worth after so many people wanted to write him off, after they traded so many draft picks to bring him in. They got humbled last week. Baltimore beat them down, but I expect this game to be a lot more competitive.
My bad. I'm surprised at Bo Nix that he's developing as fast as he is. But something told me he would. Like in the beginning of the season, I was like, nah, I'm gonna give Bo Nix a few years. I wasn't too keen on Oregon quarterbacks. But when I saw him on the sideline, I think it was the third game of the season, and he was basically telling Sean Payton, "No, man, let's do this, and they won the game." And I was like, "Okay, look at the rookie."
He earned some trust from his head coach.
Yeah, look at the rookie. I said, "Okay," because I really never seen Drew Brees really be like, "Okay, look, man, nah, this is not the play." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, "Okay, KC." I'll say this, and I know this will be way off base, but they don't look much better than the Giants, man. But they're winning.
Once again, coaching matters.
Coaching matters, man.
And it's also nice when you still have Mahomes who could play mediocre for 2.5 quarters, but when in crunch time, he's going to make those plays.
Yeah. I want to go with them in the upset, but they're playing at Arrowhead. And this is the Broncos. It's a rivalry game. They don't like the Broncos. They don't like their rivals at all. Just like you shouldn't like your rival at all.
No, not.
But I'm gonna go KC. 28-17. I think Chris Jones and crew gonna get at Bo Nix. They're gonna rattle him.
Yeah. I think Bo Nix could have a rough one here. I still think there's going to be a decent amount of field goals kicked. Give me the Chiefs 25. Going to go 25-13. I think the Bronco defense will keep them in it. I think the Broncos offense is going to get stymied in a big way. I think Nix is going to have, that's a tough turnaround. Baltimore, KC back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
And the team that KC will be playing next week, they have to also avoid looking ahead. The Colts are not an easy out in Indianapolis, and they're still within reach of a playoff, of a playoff berth, getting into the mix. Not going to win that division, not after losing to Houston twice. The Bills' offense starting to surge. Amari Cooper has not had like that genuine signature game yet. But I think this is the week that you might see it happen.
I think he's out this week.
Is he really?
I
Let me double
think I
check.
saw he was out this week. I'm
Let me
not
double
sure.
check.
Either he was questionable or he's out.
I'm gonna
But
pull
while you're
this up.
checking that, oh shit, I forgot what I was about to say. Josh Allen, man, just 2 interceptions the whole season.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
And
but
I think
you know what?
Yeah,
That goes to show I'm not going to say the loss of Diggs because I think they're doing better. That goes to show without Diggs, he can actually play his game, run the ball, a few dink and dunks, maybe a few deep passes, but he doesn't have to force the ball to Diggs now. He can spread it around. Cook get the ball. Cooper if he's playing. But I think they said he's out. I'm not sure. But yeah, I got to give Josh Allen credit. But that's just good coaching,
he'll
and that's
play.
just knowing. Okay. Well, if that's the case,
Yeah, he's limited right now, but he should be able to be out there. The Colts have had trouble holding down better receivers this year. That secondary is definitely a little sus, and in order for the Colts to win this game, you got to be able to run the ball. So Jonathan Taylor has to have a big game, and you've got to make life easy for your quarterback. But right now, the thing with Buffalo, even if they were to get off to a slow start, I still have them finding a way to win this one.
They're so balanced, man.
Well, James Cook has really done that. And I'll be honest, when I consider the mastery of the route tree and the football acumen of Amari Cooper, I think he's an upgrade over Stephon Diggs.
I think so too, because he's more team ball. He's more team ball, and like I said, with him, you don't have to force the ball to him because he's not one of those receivers like give me the ball, give me the ball. He's not that type of guy.
No,
So even going back to Dallas, even when he was with the Raiders, he wasn't that type of guy who demanded the ball. It's like, hey, this is a team game, and I think that's going to help Josh Allen because he knows he has a guy. He knows he has a guy who's I won't call him a 1A anymore, but at least a 1 anymore, but he's probably like a 1A, but he can still fill that role. And he knows he has him over there. So I'm gonna go Buffalo 31, Indianapolis 21. Because I think Anthony Richardson is starting this weekend. So
yeah, if it was Flacco, I might have went with Indy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Buffalo 30, Indy 17. I'm expecting the game to kind of be like either a 3-point Buffalo lead or tied at the half. I have the Buffalo defense pitching a shutout in the second half, partly predicated to the fact that I think they're going to have one of those signature drives where they really lean on the Colts and take a lot of time off the clock. I don't think this is going to be like the monster game from Josh Allen, but he's going to do enough to win. I think James Cook and Amari Cooper might be the story here. And I expect AR to make at least one vital mistake. I personally am like mixed feelings on him overall.
Coming out of Florida, I wasn't too keen. I was shocked that he got drafted so high, to be honest.
I was too.
He only played 12 games in college, and I didn't think he was that great. He was good, but 1 year.
It's a big investment off of a small sample size.
Yeah, look at the quarterbacks who played 1 year. Todd Marinovich. I can't know. Was it Todd Marinovich? He's flamed out. Mark Sanchez, same thing. Mitchell Trubisky, same thing. These 1 year quarterbacks just don't do well when you bring him into a franchise that needs a quarterback.
No.
And he's another one. I just felt he had a big arm. He's a big quarterback. He likes to run the ball, but he's not accurate. I think he was like 53% in college. You can't come into the LSL throwing 53%.
Yeah, I was honestly shocked that. But the Colts have been a revolving door at quarterback.
Yeah.
Any former league MVP or Super Bowl MVP or Super Bowl winner or somebody that is on their final legs, the Colts have given them a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. We've got the New York Jets traveling to Arizona. to take on the first place 5-4 Arizona Cardinals.
First place.
Yeah, I know it's been a while since you could say that. I'll be honest. I think this game might low key be a shootout.
Yes.
The Cardinals have found themselves in a decent amount of these kind of games. Now, this is the thing. For the Cardinals to win this game, I think it's a pretty simple formula that you got to get James Conner to as close as 20 touches as possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the young Trey Benson getting involved a little more in the offense this past week. Trey McBride, their tight end, really just a superior talent at that position. As the Jets go, I think seeing Hassan Reddick on the field really solidified that defense. And there were some ugly moments. You know, Malachi Corley with that ridiculous mistake a la Deshaun Jackson throwing the ball down before he broke the plane. Just inexcusable stupidity. They were lucky they overcame that. But
dude, somebody else did it this past weekend.
It's amazing.
In college ballet.
It's amazing. And the thing is, that was truly the first signature win of the Aaron Rodgers era. And
yeah,
you know, when I look at the AFC, we know who the elite, really good teams are. But when you look at the bottom of it, and when I mean the bottom, I'm talking about who's going to be playing for the 7 seed.
Yeah.
2 teams come to mind. 1 team's going to get in. There might be another team that surprises you, but it's going to be the Jets or the Bengals.
I can see that.
And the Jets at 3-6, they still have plenty of time to get it together. I think beating Houston the way they did and Rodgers really locking in, I do think that Devontae Adams opposite of Garrett Wilson is going to reap its rewards. Give me the Jets 34-27. Cardinals on the wrong side of a shootout at home. I think the Jets are going to win their second consecutive game. And 4-6 doesn't sound too sexy, but I think that this is where the Jets could start getting some traction.
Yeah, I think I want to see if Kyler Murray tests Sauce Gardner. Because people don't want
Harrison versus Gardner is definitely going to be something.
Yeah. I want to see how that goes. If he goes at Sauce and he finds success at, throwing at Sauce, Jets defense might be in trouble. But I think Rodgers will. I think he'll keep it going. I'm going to go 33-28. 33-24. I think 33-24. I think it'll be close early, but I think as it goes on, I think the Jets will pull away the second half.
I'll tell you
I think they'll get to Murray.
I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I think this is going to be something that nobody sees coming. Aaron Rodgers is going to score a rushing touchdown in this game. He doesn't run anymore. He doesn't run anymore ever since the Achilles injury.
Yeah, but who knows?
He's been gradually not running, even go back to the end of his Green Bay tenure. But I just have a feeling that it's going to be one of them weird ones where he calls his number, and that's going to fire up the Jets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If that happens, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Similar to Eli when he took about 20 minutes to score in England.
That was about 30. It's something like that. It took a while, though.
Yeah, Strahan was like, I'm drinking my Gatorade. And
yeah.
Then I made another one, and I drank another one.
I went to the bathroom and came back and said, you got the 2.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is definitely at that lack of speed now at this, golden age of his career, so to speak. Phillip Rivers, speed. Eli Manning, speed. Not quite as bad, but Rodgers is getting there. We got the Dallas Cowboys hosting their forever rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. This game loses a lot of luster with quarterback Dak Prescott being injured. Short, sweet, and simple. The only reason we're highlighting this game is really because of the Eagles, not because of the Cowboys. I will say this. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Kirk Cousins, the 3 biggest free agent additions offensively to any teams in this offseason.
Yeah.
And in the case, now correct me if I'm wrong. Cousins was traded, right?
Nah.
Okay, that was a free agent ink job. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley finally gets to beat the Cowboys.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't do it as a member of the Giants. When the Giants did beat the Cowboys, Saquon was injured, and we had Wayne Gallman running back there.
Yep, number 22.
I actually think Cooper Rush gives the Cowboys a chance to compete. He has been in this situation in the past, where he had to play against the Eagles to a mixed result. But Cooper Rush is not a bad backup. He's actually a quality backup. The problem is this team traded a 4th-round draft pick for the services of Jonathan Mingo. Are you kidding me, bro?
Dude, let me tell you about that. Because I'm glad we got a little time to talk about that. I was talking to a Cowboy fan, and he's like, "Yeah, I bet you're gonna say this was a bad trade." I go, "What do you think? A 4th-round pick for a guy who would be like the 4th receiver on any other team?
Even if he pans out, given his lack of anything thus far,
4th rounder,
you could have got him for a 6th.
You could have got him for a 6th. A 4th rounder, as much as you need draft capital for next season.
And remember what they got for Cooper? A 5th.
A 5th.
Yeah, dude.
They gave him away.
Yeah. Literally.
And I seen that. The only thing I did was laugh because you know me, I'm a big Cowboy.
Well, you saw the way I was trolling on East, the Beats page. And normally I don't really mess with the Cowboy fans in there.
Yeah, but you got them that time, bro.
No, it was funny because I put up a picture of Johnny Ringo. I said Jerry might have one of them time warps. He thought he was getting Johnny Ringo.
Dude, I was laughing so hard I forgot to react to it. I was just laughing at it. I had to go back and scroll. I was like, okay, now where's that post at, man?
Shouts out NFC Beast.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like Cooper Rush. Yeah, they probably scale the playbook back a little bit, but he runs that offense so smoothly.
Yes, he does, with a decent amount of confidence.
They may not be Philly, then again they might. Who knows? But they may not be Philly. But I think moving forward, I think he'll hold it down enough till Dak comes back. It depends. They still got a pretty tough schedule ahead, but I trust that guy.
I'm expecting a valiant effort because if you remember last time Dak got hurt, it was when he broke his finger or stumble, whatever, week 1 a couple of years ago against Tampa at home.
Yeah.
And Rush went on to win a decent amount of games, and Rush lost to the Eagles. And it was one of those deals where it's like you need this guy to lose a game before you pull him out.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I think Rush gives them a chance to stick around. The Eagles, I gotta just say it, as much as it bothers me. Saquon Barkley has been everything for that team because I wonder where would they be without him? And the answer is 3-3, 3-5. Maybe they have not been ultra impressive past him on certain metrics. I will give Jalen Hurts some credit because he has really done an excellent job of taking care of the football.
Yeah.
The only starting quarterback to play all last month that didn't commit a turnover, or the only team, rather, I should say, that didn't commit a turnover. So, that has to be praised. The Eagles are going to win this division. The question is, can the Eagles ride Saquon to a deep playoff run? That remains to be revealed. But I think that this game, it will be close for the majority of it. But I got the Eagles winning by 10. I think they put it away in the 4th quarter and solidify that 2-score victory. Give me the Eagles 30-20.
Yeah, I'm gonna go same thing. Dallas can't stop the run.
They can't stop the run, and nobody has been able to really contain Saquon this year.
They're like 29th in run defense, and like 30th in red zone defense.
Even if AJ Brown doesn't play,
they can't stop the pass.
They have so much depth in that Philadelphia wide receiver room. You've got Jahad Dotson. You've got Jahad Dotson. You've got the kid from FSU, slips my mind, Johnny Wilson.
Yeah.
You've got Paris Campbell. And guess who else is returning this week? You got Dallas Goddard coming
Dallas
back this
Goddard
week.
coming. Yeah, Dallas Goddard.
Yeah, not the week to play them.
That's too much, man. I think they're like 30 or 31 in pass defense. They're in trouble, dude.
And I got to give them props because when they lost Kelsey, I really said that brotherly shove ain't gonna work no more.
Yeah.
Nah, man. They're still operating that at a high level.
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go higher than 30-20 because Philly don't like Dallas. Dallas don't like Philly.
Do you know that Dallas is still yet to win a home game this year?
I know.
That is friggin' absurd.
And the home games they played, they got their asses whooped.
Yes, they certainly did.
I'm gonna go 37-21 Philly.
Wow. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me.
They might put 40. It's Philly and Dallas. And they might put 40.
This is a big deal for Saquon Barkley because as a member of the New York Giants, sadly, he never beat Dallas. This is a big deal for Saquon, and I think it goes his way. Sunday Night Football, the best team in the NFC, the Detroit Lions, 7-1. They're only blemish to Tampa. At the Houston Texans, who are 6-3, and I think they're not as good as their record. Nico Collins might be returning. But I'll tell you, man, C.J. Stroud has been a shell of himself for the better part of a month.
Dude, he does not look like C.J. Stroud of last year. Or he does not, even at the start of the season, he does not look like himself, man.
No, and I think the bridge that keeps them afloat has been Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
You know, Steph Diggs out for the year. Great addition, yeah. Diggs out for the year hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be the guy that steps up? Is it going to be Tank Dell? I don't know. I was slightly surprised that this Houston team didn't take a stab at a receiver at the deadline.
Yeah, because you losing Stephon Diggs, man, that's a number one. And you lost him.
Yeah, no matter how you slice it, he's capable of being a 1 or a 1B because we know what Collins brings. But as the game goes, I expect a valiant effort from Mixon early on that's going to keep the game close. But if you get a turnover or two, which I can see at least 2 on the end of Stroud, that Lions offense does not play. They will bury you. And the other part is they have the best 1-2 punch at running back in the NFL with David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top 5 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Laporta is having an off year. Think about that for a second.
Right.
They won out.
Found his groove yet.
They won out and found a replacement for the remainder of the season for Aiden Hutchinson, the veterans. Darius Smith. That was a move that they had to make.
Yes. He may not be Hutch, but he gets to – I think yeah.
I got the Lions putting down a bit of an ass whooping on these guys. Give me the Lions 38 to Houston's 27, and it's not going to be as close as the 11-point spread suggests. Gibbs hits the end zone once. Montgomery hits the end zone once. I got Laporta getting in the end zone once. I got Goff calling his own number once.
You might see a lot of offensive linemen.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how good this Lions team was until going into this Green Bay game. I did pick them to beat Green Bay. And it wasn't that they won. It was the way that they won.
The way they won. They put it on them.
They made Green Bay, let's be honest, they made Green Bay look like little kids out there.
They put it on them.
Yeah, it was an important victory. And if I'm not mistaken, the Lions have recorded wins in Lambeau for 3 consecutive years
3
now.
straight seasons. They said it hadn't done that since like 1950. That's crazy.
No, it's remarkable. Green Bay does have a propensity to play good in the Motor City. But the 2 biggest differences to me with Green Bay and the Lions, because Green Bay's defense has been pretty good this year. Yeah. But the biggest difference to me is the quarterback. Jordan Love makes too many damn mistakes.
He makes it's just like what I said about Daniel Jones. His turnovers are stupid turnovers. Throwing off your back foot. You know, when someone's in your face, it's like just throwing it up in the air.
Yeah, it's like fundamentals go out the door at the sight of anything adverse. And with Jordan Love, you could laugh off the interception in the Ram game because they won.
Yeah.
But this is going back to last year where this young man has been making some real boneheaded mistakes, even in the Giant game last year where he lost to Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He it's like it's just like he just his interceptions are not interceptions where, a misread or overthrow. It's just like he just throws it up in the air. As for Detroit, they got the personality of their coach.
Yeah, they really do. And I got to give them credit.
Personality.
Because after the way they lost last year in the title game, I did not have this team coming back stronger, but they haven't done just that.
They came back stronger.
And
tough quarterback. Tough coach.
Who do you have beating these guys, honestly? Who beats these guys in the NFC? Is there a team?
I don't know. the way they're playing, it's like they playing like we know we can win. That's how they play. We know we can win. That's how they're playing. We know.
I'll be honest with you, from a physicality standpoint, there's only two teams in the conference that I think match up well enough with them. It's the team that beat them in the title game last year, assuming that the Niners could get healthy enough.
Yeah.
And it's the Eagles. Because one thing the Eagles have been able to do more times than not is impose their will from a physical standpoint.
Yeah.
But I don't see anybody beating these guys, especially if they get the 1 seed and the road goes through the Motor City. I don't see it.
Oh, my goodness.
And, not too many people took much off of the opening day victory a year ago when they went into Arrowhead and beat them because, Chris Jones didn't play that day.
Yeah.
But I must admit, there's only 2 teams, maybe 3 in the NFC that I think pose a legitimate threat to the Chiefs. It's the 49ers because of the familiarity.
Yeah.
It's the Eagles because of the talent.
Yeah.
Eagles are very talented.
Yeah.
But I think this Detroit Lion team, probably the best matchup for the Chiefs. And if I'm going dark horse, somebody that just matches up well with them on paper, it's actually the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
But in the AFC, you can make an argument that you got maybe 2 or 3. I would say 2. Buffalo, Baltimore. Pittsburgh doesn't have enough offense.
Mm-mm.
The Jets are the Jets.
Right. The Jets are the Mets.
Who else? Who? No. It's 2 teams. It's 2 teams, and it's either Baltimore or Buffalo. I think Buffalo has the best shot.
And Detroit is one of those teams that I'm not going to say, like my best friend here, my dog, my homie, my DJ buddy, he's a Lions fan. He's the only Lions fan I know on the planet. And
I got one. I got a cousin in Michigan.
Dang. And this guy grew up here. He's a Lions fan. They're one of those teams, if they won the Super Bowl, I'll cheer for them. They're just that type of team I would like to see win a Super Bowl.
Well, what would be cool, truthfully, what I think would really be cool is if you saw the Lions and the Bills.
Oh, man, yeah.
2 organizations that neither has ever won a Super Bowl. I must admit, if it came down to that, I would probably root for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Because of all the torment that they had in the 90s, which our team actually started. But, Marv Levy's still alive.
Yeah.
That would be if Jim Kelly's still alive.
Yeah.
That would be cool if some of those guys from those 90s squads
Bruce
are even
Smith
further
still around.
Back. Yeah, Bruce Smith's still around, thankfully.
Thomas, all them guys. Yeah.
Andre Reed, James Lofton, a lot of those guys still kicking. So it would be cool if, the Lions, bro.
Man.
Herman Moore, Scott Mitchell, Robert Porcher, Chris Spielman,
Barry Sanders, Mitchell,
Megatron,
Mel Renfro. I think he's still alive. Yes, a lot of them, man. If those 2 teams played in the Super Bowl, it would be so many stars on that field.
Bro, Wayne Fontes. I never thought that guy was much of a coach, but man, when I heard him talk, he could motivate something.
He could motivate. I forgot about Wayne Fontes.
But I'll tell you though, I saw those Lions go into Lambeau, shitty conditions. They lost a branch on a ticky-tack call. That was a bad ejection.
That was a bad call. That was a bad one. Yeah.
I actually
he was hurt too.
Perception is a perception is a bitch.
Yeah,
I think that the jawing that he did to the sideline after he hit that guy is what got him out.
yeah.
But they got to find a happy medium. It's still football.
Yeah.
Man. A couple of minutes. So before we get out of here.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we had another game. That's why I got quiet.
Nah, I put Monday night in the less notables. Miami does not deserve something more than that with that record. The most exciting thing I saw the Dolphins.
Let me ask you about Miami.
Tyreek Hill going into the stadium.
Yeah, let me ask you about Miami anyway. I'm gonna ask you about a couple of coaches actually. Mike McDaniel. They stay under 500. Don't make the Super Bowl. I mean, don't make the playoffs. Do they keep him or they let him go?
I think this is one of those scenarios where you can't really can him because of just circumstantial shit.
Mm-hmm.
But he should be on high notice going into next year.
I'm gonna ask you about our coach. Same question.
It would take the team to quit. If the team starts just checks out with about a month and a half left in the year, watch out. Me personally, even if they don't check out, I like Brian Daboll. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a mixed feeling because I get it. We talk about it. He gets outcoached, da-da-da. But I also think that when you consider that quarterback is such a detriment to this team, I think Daboll keeps them in a lot of games. So there's a lot of ways to break this shit down. I think Daboll will return. Whether it's the right move or not remains to be seen.
Last one, Eberflus in Chicago.
He gone.
Yeah. No, my buddy said that same thing the same way.
And let me add to who's gone. Mike McCarthy. See you later.
Oh, he's
Kevin
gone.
Stefanski, even though he's a very good coach, he's going to be a good scorer for somebody coming into
I think he'd be a good OC for somebody.
Now, remember, I said this: if the New York Giants, for some reason, drop a total dud in Germany, Brian Daboll might get left there, and I'll retract on everything I just got done saying.
He might.
Something interesting.
I think McCarthy's gone. Yeah.
Something interesting.
What's up?
No. Finish your point, and then I'm gonna hit you with this.
Oh no. I was just laughing. What's up?
This is interesting. So as you all know, Scott Boras in Major League Baseball, he is that guy when it comes to the clients. He is.
Yeah.
And you have two very big ones: Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, both being represented by Scott Boras.
Yeah.
And Brian Cashman has made contact with Boras with regard to both players.
Woo.
Now, while I must admit that I think it's a bit of a pipe dream to think that the Yankees could score them both.
Right.
Do you think that this is after losing to the Dodgers and after knowing that we let them off the hook in Game 1 as well as in Game 5, and that they have unlimited resources and the $700 billion man and da-da-da? Do you think Hal Steinbrenner just says, fuck this, and just goes George mode?
Yes. Yes. You know why? Because of what you just said. The Dodgers got all that money. They got all those players. They are the team to beat, and we should have beat them. But
we should have at least had the right to play. We should have at least had a right to play Game 7. We gave away Game 1 in that inning.
Yeah.
Not pitching to Betts, choosing to pitch to Freeman, man.
Yeah.
And then the biggest blown lead in a closeout game in World Series history, all unearned runs. That was absurd. But like I can't see him allowing Uncle Stevie to outbid for him. And even more so, like the Dodgers stealing him is one thing, but I cannot see any world where the Mets out. But this is the caveat: the Mets could outbid quite a few, and they have a decent amount of money coming off the books. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I mean, you have plenty of contingency plans if you lose Soto. This is a very rich free agent class.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it. But I would love to get Alonso and Soto. Hal, he got to be like, look here, Cash. Whatever they want, give it to them.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, I really think that might be the approach because a lot of people have said, "Oh, he won't spend the money. Oh, he won't spend the money." I'm not sure about that this time around.
Because we were in the big game, man. We were in the big game, and Soto's a good part why we were there. I mean, he had that era, in the World Series, but he's one of the reasons why we were there.
Yeah, we don't get this far without Juan Soto or Aaron Judge, and you want to keep that duo together.
Hey, let's look at Giancarlo Stanton too. He came up big this year.
Yeah, Giancarlo Stanton for the first time in forever. People are happy he's coming back. And believe me, these Yankee fans have short memories. I'm going to paint you a picture. It's May 16th. Giancarlo Stanton is hitting a couple of points under the Mendoza line. He has a 4 strikeout performance and he gets booed because these Yankee fans, they have some short memories and they can be very
Yep. True that. So he came up big in the World Series though, in the playoffs though. He showed up, man. He showed up.
Last thing on the brain, I know you guys spoke about it on Casual tonight. I have not got a chance to watch the show, but I will, particularly because of the subject matter. Donald Trump, once again, the president of the United States. The Electoral College, is so vital to winning because we have seen elections in the past where the popular vote sometimes gets outweighed by the electoral. And I get it. There's a reason why they have it that way because of certain states or bigger states or more influential states. We understand that. Long and the short of it, what are your thoughts in terms of why one won versus why the other lost? And I guess my double-parted question is, did the losing side do enough to be a viable contender for someone who was running and is already a former president?
I think with Trump, we knew what Trump was. We knew who he is. And I always tell people, although I didn't support him, I give him credit. He stands on who he is. Who you see today is who you'll see tomorrow.
It is valuable. It is a valuable asset to have.
Yeah. And see, with her, it was like a flip-flop. You didn't know who you were really getting.
I tend to agree.
Yeah. And I got a lot of heat from the black community because they said I wouldn't support her. I was like, no, I need to see her. I know Trump's policies. I already know what Trump's got. I already know him. I need to see her policies. I want to see what she's going to do about immigration. What she's going to do about fracking. She said she was for fracking. I want to hear what she do about healthcare. I want to hear all of this stuff, but I didn't hear it. I didn't hear enough of it. And she would never. And when she broke down, like, you can't break down in front of the American people when you're running for president and you're a woman. You can't do that. I don't think she was ready. I think the Democrats' problem, as I tell people, I'm an independent. I think where the Democrats made the mistake, it was when Biden said, I'm not running. We're going to put Kamala Harris right there. They didn't give the people a choice to decide.
You kind of just pushed it. And I think that sometimes both parties have a propensity for doing that if it fits their overall bottom line narrative. But in the case of Kamala Harris, I feel that, good looking woman, African American, or at least, some ethnicity leaning towards African American.
Yeah.
But the other part is a woman. And the first time that a woman ran, it didn't work out very well. But I almost feel that what turned me off just as being like a natural observer.
Yeah.
Because best believe I have issues with both sides of the coin here.
Same here.
It's just that when I know how mentally unaware Joe Biden was,
right,
and you're trying to insult my intelligence, and then you got Anderson Cooper calling you out, to me that was a bad look. But the reason why I felt the Democrats want that route also is because of the backward stances with Roe versus Wade. And this is one thing that I do want to say on this show before we get out of here. Regardless of whoever is the president of these United States, we have to move forward, not backward, when it comes to women's rights.
Right.
Because you take somebody like a Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she'd be rolling over in her grave, bro.
Yeah, and see, that was my thing with people. I said, now that we know who's president, okay, we got to cut the division. I don't care if you're red. I don't care if you're blue. We get the reason why we're so screwed up is because we're so divided. We're supposed to be the United States of America, not the divided states. We need to be. I'm just saying.
And sadly, the latter
Yes.
is what we see.
We gotta be united. Okay, Trump won. You don't like him, okay, so be it. But he's the president. Kamala Harris, I gotta give her credit. She went out there and said, "Look, we gotta rally behind." The decision of what it was. She said America made this decision. We got to stand behind the president.
No, I give her credit for that because I think it's important. I think it's important to say that as moving forward. But there's certain things that I liked about him. There's certain things that I didn't. I certainly don't like the division that can be spewed.
Yeah,
and I also do find it a bit disconcerting. With I'm far from a snowflake.
Oh, I know.
but when I saw that comedian, I'm like, damn, in Madison Square Garden, you have more Puerto Ricans in New York than you do on the actual island. That that. I mean, I'm not as worked up as like my mother or my sister or my brother, but I understand why people would be worked up at that level. But once again, I want to make one thing clear: there's a lot of information out there about where funds go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave it for now. But I guess if there's anything I want to say on a closing note is we have to do better at just being it's okay to disagree, but talk some of this shit out.
Yeah. Let's be America. Let's be America. Let's be the nation that people died to come to. Mm-hmm. Let's be that nation that people say, "Hey, I want to be like an American. This is what I want." That's why we're called the United States of America. United States. I always say the fist is 5 fingers, 5 letters. UNITY. Unity. United States of America. That's what we need to be.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Some people that are the biggest supporters of President Trump would say that the pandemic backed him up when he was white hot, and in some regards, there is some validity to that. But it will be interesting. It will be interesting to say the least, because one thing I will admit, and even going back to like the old days of living in New York and having this dude jump in on Howard Stern sometimes, you will be entertained.
Oh, you got that right.
You will be entertained.
Yeah, in my closing words, I don't hate Trump. I always say about Trump is this: he'd be a great president if he just shut the hell up. That's all. Occasionally,
occasionally, I will say less is more. But the bottom line is, regardless of separation of church and state, that's another conversation for another day. But I want women's rights to be not so damn primitive. The year 2024, got to do better. I don't give a shit who's in office. That has to be a priority on either side.
We need a politician. A politics discussion show.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. I'm down. For Mr. Idris Salam, I am Richie Hicks. Thank you so much for watching the show. Week 10 NFL preview on the horizon. NFL season's moving quick. If you haven't already, make it a point, like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Sports Podcast on YouTube, and also make it a point to check out the Casual Convo Show. If you want to hear more about the latter of what we were talking about, Chanel and Idris definitely brought it tonight. Have a great day, everyone.